Well, hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of K at MRD Radio Stuff. My name is Mike. Today we're going to be looking at a very budget-friendly portable solar generator from our friends at Radioddity. Today we're going to be looking at the Raddy RF-L3 portable solar generator from Radioddity. Now, the reason we're looking at this, a viewer actually commented on my last video that I did on the weather station from Raddy, is actually their other brand from Radioddity, and suggested I take a look at this. It's an AM, FM, and shortwave receiver. The shortwave, not so much to tell you that right up front. It comes with two flashlights. You've got a floodlight and a regular flashlight on the front. And the really cool thing is it's got four 18650 lithium ion cells inside with a capacity of 1200 milliamps each, giving us a total capacity of 4800 milliamps. So that part is really cool to me. It's also got a little solar panel that you can use to charge out in the field, and it comes with a wall wart to charge at home. It's currently selling for $44.99 on the Raddy website. I will leave an affiliate link in the description. I'll also leave a code for $15 off any qualifying purchase of over $65 from Radioddity in the description as well, if you choose to pick one of these up or anything else at Radioddity. So now, without any further ado, let's take a look at the Raddy RF-L3 portable solar generator from Radioddity. Now, right off the bat, I gotta say the way this was shipped to me was pretty terrible, because this is how it was shipped. No packaging. This was not inside another box. This is how it was shipped to me, and this box is in absolutely horrible, horrible condition. So I don't know if the fine folks at the United States Postal Service decided to start Ace Venturaing this down the road, but that's how it came to me. I did email Radioddity and let them know about the condition of this box, so hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone else. But anyway, let's dive in here, see what we get. Little use manual, and this is cool. You've got all your different kinds of connectors. So we've got a micro USB, a USB-C, an old outdated the iPhone 30-pin connector thing. Actually, one of my iPads takes this, and lightning. So that's pretty handy to have right there. It comes with, I'll crack these open in a second, but these are lights. These are LED lights. So if the power goes out, you can have a couple lights. They got a little hanger on there. So that's pretty neat. We'll test out how bright these are. And you get this little solar panel. This is pretty tiny here. Let's get a Bofang for scale. So probably about 4 Bofangs in size. Not huge. I wouldn't suspect this to actually do much on charging this, but nice to have. We'll see. And then the actual unit itself. This is the radio. And what just fell out looks to be the charging wall wart thing with a barrel connector there. And then we have the radio itself. Now let's take a quick look around the radio. Starting here, looks like we've got our switch. So we've got Bluetooth MP3, FM, AM radio, and shortwave radio. So this will receive from 7 megahertz to 19 megahertz on the shortwave, and then your traditional AM and FM broadcast bands, it looks like. And then we've got some controls here, presumably for the Bluetooth or MP3 function. Looking on the side, we've got a USB 5-volt out. That says MP3 player. You've got micro SD card slot, an aux in, so if you want to plug in an iPad or something there. Here's your power on, off, and volume. And your DC in 5 volts and a charge indicator. On the back, let's get rid of this tape. So we've got some switches. So let's see, what does this do? Power out, so that must control these maybe? That's the only power that I see. That would be the output. So if we plug in our USB or something, maybe that plugs the power out. And then you've got your battery capacity indicator. So that's nice. And then these outputs here are for the little LED lights that come with this. So they have, yep, just a little coax connector there. Power out. Hey, there we go. So the one marked light controls that light and not these lights. But these have switches on them, so that's pretty neat. We've also got our antenna for receiving. Just a little telescopic antenna, probably, I don't know, 2 feet maybe. Not very long. And then as we just saw, we've got kind of a more floodlight here, just on and off. That's all LEDs. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like there's 21 LEDs in here. And then we have this top torch, we'll call it, that has a high and a low and an off. And then on the top here is the switch. Getting back to the back of this though, this is a really nice feature. And this is why I was curious about this. Let me find a screwdriver and we'll open this guy up. Inside here are 4 18650 batteries. And that intrigued me because not only is this a radio in and of itself, but this is also an 18650 battery charger. So what does that mean? Well, for me, it means in a pinch, if this is all I had, and say maybe a portable HF ham radio, I could wire up 4 of these in series and have a 12-volt battery now that I could run my ham radio station off of in an emergency. That's really the big sell for me, is that it has this function. An 18650 cells, they're lithium ion cells. They've got a pretty decent output current. So, you know, a 5-watt or 10-watt QRP HF ham radio, this will power them. So that's awesome in and of itself. I love that. So actually, I'd take 3 of these and get 12 volts. That'll power a 705, an X5105, maybe the G90 for a little bit. 4 batteries is too much. You're getting 16 volts there. But 3 of these in a little pack, and you're on the air. An interesting thing about this radio that I just discovered, 1 battery in, we got light. So we don't need to have all these batteries in. Like, these can be off playing radio, and this can be supplying light. That is really cool. That is very, very cool. That's the first time I've ever seen any device that had multiple batteries actually just run off of 1 of the batteries. Who remembers these things? Yeah, I've still got one. This is dead as a doornail. Let's see if it charges. It's charging the old iPod. Remember, this is emergency situations. You need music. You're going to bust out your old iPod. Yeah, buddy. Now, how does the radio sound? Let's find out. These are little volume slider knob here. This is kind of not the most rigid thing in the world, but it seems to be all right. Same thing. Whoa, hello. Same thing with this knob here. It's, I mean, it's just plastic. You know, this is not, doesn't have like a really high quality feel at all. Kind of feels more like a kind of a child's toy. You know, not bad to have, just something sitting in the closet for, you know, power goes out kind of thing. And there's FM.
Protección y declararlo compañías de utilidades públicas porque tienen un poder demasiado grande esta gente.
That doesn't sound bad at all. Yeah. AM, I don't know if we'll be able to pick up any AM inside here. You know what? Let's hook this up to a real antenna. Now, I've got a roughly 67-foot long antenna above my roof for ham radio. So I'm going to connect this antenna up to the Raddy to see. I mean, I don't imagine you're going to get really good signals inside your house for radio, especially where I live. I live kind of away from the city, so I want to give this thing every chance it can get. So let's see what kind of stations we can pull in now. Oh yeah, there we are. Yeah, it's picking them up good now. Not great. I don't expect this to be the greatest receiver in the world.
Build up at the Ukraine border. Today's call will be their second in.
Yeah, it's picking up stations. Now, this will also receive shortwave. It's only upper sideband though, which makes it completely useless for 7 megahertz. But pretty much anything above that should be usable. So we'll see if we can hear any shortwave stations. I feel that's kind of a big ask. Especially for ham radio, the bandwidth that we use is so tiny. From 15 to 12 megahertz, I'm on the shortwave. I don't think this radio has any selectivity. I mean, I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to say epic fail on the shortwave side of things. Because it's just, I don't know why we're picking up the same song across the entire spectrum. That's a little weird. Not supposed to do that. The AM and FM seemed all right, but shortwave, I'm going to say, yeah, that's a hard fail right there for me. Now let's see what this does for Bluetooth.
Bluetooth mode.
RF-L3 it just showed up. So let's click that.
Connected.
So that's cool. So let's see if it will play some music. Here's my intro. Hey, look at that. It works. But there's some functions here. Let's see if we can hit repeat. Oh yeah, look at that. Make it repeat. And you can control the volume here too. So I want to play with these 3 LEDs now. These are kind of cool. They look like your standard incandescent bulb. They got a little swivelly hanger thing here if you want to hang these up. But honestly, with the weight of the cable hanging down, they're probably going to more hang like that and not straight down. I mean, when you need light, it's there. The switches probably should have been on the other side of this, but whatever. So we can plug these in to our 3 barrel connector slots here. Now, why is that on? Oh, I see. So this one, oh. Ah, they have on-off switches. Okay. I'm like, why is it turning on? So there we are. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Look at that. They all work. Fantastic. You can see our battery meter's gone down with the load. But that's okay. That's expected. Yeah, when it's under load, battery meter's letting you know. So that's good. Now, are these the lightest bulbs in the world? No. But are they going to give you light when you need it most? Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say you're going to read the dictionary with these, but they're going to light up the room a little bit. So here we are in my bathroom, which is the darkest room in my house right now because it's daytime. And these 3 little lights are actually not doing a bad job. So you can see everything, you know, if you drop something, you can find it. Like I said, I wouldn't read a book by this, but it's enough to have some light, you know, if you're sheltered up for a tornado or a hurricane or something, or just the power goes out, you've got light. But you've also got that light and that light. Yeah, not too shabby. Now, as far as charging this out in the field, as it were, I wouldn't put too much faith in a little 6-watt solar panel, but when I plug it in, the red light's on. It is charging. Not the sunniest day in Texas we're having today, but it is working. I don't have a way to test the current that's actually going into the batteries, unfortunately, but I wouldn't suspect it being too much. So it would probably legit take an entire day, if not more, of absolutely wonderful sunshine to actually charge the battery with this panel, but it's better than nothing. So final thoughts on the radio. Does it do everything as advertised? Yes. Does it do it well? Not so much. You know, this is a very entry-level thing. If you just want a little radio to have in case of emergencies, charge your cell phone or your MP3 player, maybe your iPad, get some light in case of a power outage, this is fantastic. As far as build quality, I mean, it's kind of has that cheap plasticky feel to it, not gonna lie. The lights are not all that bright. Do they light up a room enough for you to see? Yes. So they do get the job done there. The knobs and things feel rather cheap and plasticky, but that's to be expected from a $45 bit of kit like this. You know, so it has some pluses. I do like that it has the lights that you can plug in and kind of set up around your room a little bit. They've got, you know, a decent amount of cord to them, so you can get them out, spread them out a little bit further. A little disappointing, it takes a 5-volt input. It would be nicer to me if it had a 12-volt input, but I understand that this is not marketed to ham radio nerds such as I. Overall, for 45 bucks, just to have something like this as a bit of kit to have in the closet, in case of an emergency, a power outage, a weather issue, whatever the case may be. Not so bad, 45 bucks. Can't go wrong. So anyway, if you've got any comments, do leave them down below. I try and answer as many as possible. And until then, we'll see you again on another episode of K at MRD Radio Stuff. 73, guys.